morning. It's a lovely sunny day and it's time for another Snowdon challenge training session at Pitsford Water. However, I've already showed you around Pitsford Water both ways, clockwise and anti-clockwise. So for a change, I'm not going to take on that, otherwise it becomes too monotonous. I'm going to take you on a car drive out to Pitsford Reservoir. So we're going to travel, and on the way I'll point out any points of interest, and yeah, let's see my route to my training ground. So let's go. Right, we're starting off on the Horton Road, and we're heading out towards Pitsford Reservoir, also known as Pitsford Water. If we get any seriously boring parts along here, I'll just speed through the camera on the camera speed and go back to normal when I point out anything of interest. Hopefully the Northampton roads will be a bit kind to us and not have too many potholes in. This is the UK and we love our potholes not. So coming up in the distance is Northampton Shale Way, which is formerly known as Brafield racetrack, or we used to commonly know it as, let's get past this lorry, commonly know it as Brafield banger racing track. Although they do more than just banger racing here, they also do Formula stock cars as well as mini stocks. They do them in a couple of different, there we go, to the left there's now a couple of different groups. Northampton Shale Way. So currently I'm on Horton Road and we're heading towards Brafield on the green. Yep, somebody's in a hurry. So in the fields to the right of us at the moment used to be an airport, and that was Denton Airport. That was a training ground for RAF, and they used to train pilots that were flying out of Sywell Airport, which is well, we'll actually see a little bit of that as we get further on. We'll actually sort of briefly touch on that. So that's a bit further on, that's a good 5-6 miles away from here, Sywell Airport. Yeah, so they used to train the pilots in Denton Airport for Sywell. So we're just coming up to Brafield on the green, and directly ahead of us is also the Billing Road, the A428, which goes from Northampton to Bedford. I did say the Billing Road, didn't I? I meant the Bedford Road. Yes, so the A428 Bedford Road, Northampton to Bedford. So this is Billing on the green, and we are going to go down the Billing Road. This isn't the Billing Road in Northampton, this is Billing Road that passes through Brafield on its way to Billing Aquadome. This is a very pretty village as well. We'll be doing some walks around here in a different video at some point. I'll also do a video on Denton Airfield. probably on the rails Sywell track as well. So this big tree up on the right, about a year ago when we had high winds, half of that blew down and closed this road. So there's some lovely properties down here. This part of Brafield is known as Lower End. Very pretty. To the left here, there's a bridleway that I like to use quite often, just here by this signpost. Stunning views over Northampton. As you can see out in front, you can get a really good view. On a clear day, it's stunning. Let's put some scaffolding up, so they must be doing some wire on the high level cables above. Usually to protect the cables from falling on the road. So we're now currently approaching Old Billing, or Billing Acrodome as well. The road to the left leads up to Great Houghton, or sorry, Little Houghton, and then the road to the right here goes over to Cookner. Spelt Coganho, but pronounced Cookner. Must be where the Audi is going. Yeah, I'll get my cars at supermarkets mixed up. So we're just coming up to the causeway. On the left is Riverview campsite and Buttery restaurant, and on the right is the old coal yard, which has now got some units in for trading. And here we are on the causeway. The causeway's been closed a couple of times in the last few years. About 2-3 years ago, a car went through the wall on Boxing Day, I think, and basically closed the bridge down for nearly a month between Boxing Day and the New Year, into the New Year. And then earlier this year they were back again. They were fitting something to do with the waterworks. They were putting the water system or fitting gas system or something in the road along here. There's the old Billing Mill, unfortunately closed on the left, and to the left of us now Billing Acrodome across the lake, and then to the right of us the garden centres at Billing Garden Centre, or Billing Garden Village. The ground to the right of me currently used to be an old rubber plant. Apparently they used to make procolactives in there, or so my dad used to say. And the industrial estate to the left of us is Crow Lane Industrial Estate, and the entrance to the right of us now is the waterworks, the water treatment plant, was my dad used to call it, the treacle plant. And we're right by, to the right of us, leads down to Billing recycling plant, or recycling tip, or Billing tip, across the A45. Great Billing and Bellenge and Little Billing on the left of us, and Ecton on the right of us. To give it its correct name, Ecton Brook. It's Christmas tree on this roundabout gets decorated every Christmas. Nobody knows who does it, but every Christmas somebody decorates it. So to the left of us leads up to Western Fable and Western Fable Centre and into Northampton, and then around the roundabout to the right of us, that way goes to Wellingborough. You can also get down to Ectonbrook that way, and yeah, basically Wilby as well is also along there. All areas that I'd like to do some little videos on at some time, because some of the little villages along there are amazing. So on the left of us we've got Blackthorn now. These all form a part of what was known in Northampton as the Eastern Districts. And on the left here is also Blackthorn, also leads down to Lings. Turn right now, it'll take you up to Round Spinney roundabout, and the other areas of the Eastern District are also accessed off their Goldings, Lings, Blackthorn. You can also get on the roundabout head towards Kettering. You can also get down here, Billing Lane, which is the back road. Billing Lane. So this is the back road. Well, we called it the back road to Overstone. And to the right of us currently is the Scouts headquarters in Northampton. And interestingly, on the corner here, Overstone Park Resort. This is it's a major golf course. It's now a resort. That was originally the original person who put money into that was the legendary motorbike rider Barry Sheen. He had a big investment in that. Of course, Barry passed a few years ago. This corner is always a dodgy corner. Always have to slow down. I've been slowing down for this one for many years, even as a kid when I used to come tearing round here in my old bangers with slightly better brakes than I have on my current car. Yeah, I used to hit that one a little bit too fast occasionally. Now the grounds to the right of me, quite a large part of the grounds. Obviously some of that is that Overstone Park and the golf course, but this is made up as the estate of Lord Overstone, or the former Lord Overstone, in which Lord and Lady Overstone built Overstone Hall. Overstone Hall caught fire in 2001 and again caught fire this year in March. It's just basically a shell of a former stately home. It's a lovely home, or it was a lovely home to view. I used to see it from Moulton, from my bedroom across the fields when I was a kid, and in the 2001 me and my mum actually watched it burning from my bedroom. Yeah, we were kind of shocked. We could see it in the distance. The current company that owns Overstone Hall is planning to has applied to Northampton Borough Council to have it demolished so they can build homes on, and that's so sad because we should be saving some of these buildings for prosperity. If you go on Change.org and look for Overstone Hall, there's a petition there, and I implore you, go on there and sign it, and let's see if we can try and save Overstone Hall from destruction. And just to emphasise the point, I'll be doing a little video on Overstone Hall soon. Here's another good old bend. It's actually the road immediately in front of us used to be the main road down to Moulton, and this has all been changed. To the left of us now is Pychley Gates. They're not in the camera, but again I'll make sure they're in the video when I do a video on Overstone Hall. So yeah, the road has been changed a bit down there. There's a new road because They are now building a massive estate over here, Overstone Gate. You can understand why the owners of Overstone Hall would love to cash in on that and make lots of money building houses in those grounds, because they are quite big. Overstone Gate, I think, must stretch for a good 4 or 5 miles in directions in total land area. So we're turning down now towards Overstone. Stunning properties here. I mean, look at that one. That's great, isn't it? Stunning trees as well. Beware of our friends on the bikes. The rules have changed this year. You have to give them 1.5 meters. Yeah, these are lovely, these properties down here. Quite a lot for sale, I notice nowadays. These two are sold. I think that might have something to do with all the new Overstone Gate builds that are actually behind their gardens here. To say that new estate is very extensive. Fair few for sale. I get it. You used to have sweeping landscapes behind the gardens, and now they've got a new build. I know there's a need for new housing. But yeah, if you like a view out your garden and then all of a sudden they build a new housing estate on there, well, I get why you might think, oh, I think I'll sell up. So to the right of us, behind the houses here, set back a bit, is also Overstone Solarium. I used to go there as a kid. I literally had an outdoor solarium pool. Lido, absolutely amazing actually. I used to have a lovely time there. I used to really enjoy it. And now in Sywell, Overstone and Sywell kind of joined together. The transactions sort of don't really see the transaction. To the left of me is a track that leads down to Sywell mowers. If you've got a problem with your lawnmowers or your strimmers, your petrol ones, take them down there. The guy's brilliant. He actually gets them going, and he's really reasonable as well. So left of us now is the Horseshoe Pub. I went in there a fair few years ago. I'm talking more than 10 years ago, and I found it quite pricey back then. But directly in front of us, as I mentioned, Sywell Aerodrome. Well, actually, if you go around to the right, you'll access the aerodrome, and you can actually go on the aerodrome and watch any planes going up. There's also a museum there, and they've also got Spitfires there that fly, and that will be in a video sometime in the future. I want to try and do all of the aerodromes in Northampton, still existing and non-existing. A few that I can think of: Sywell, Denton, Poddington, Harringdon, and there's a few others as well. So yeah, there's some of the older hangars are actually to the right of me now, and they're actually now used as industrial units, but they were there during the war. A few of those hangars have been lost to fires over the years. There's only one main one left now. used to build parts for Lancaster bombers in some of those hangars as well. So now we're heading up towards the A43, and we're going to cross over, straight over. So the A43 to the left of us comes from Northampton. We'll pass through part of Moulton and actually past Overstone Gate, which we've mentioned a few before. And if you go around to the right, follow the road, it heads out towards Kettering. We're going straight over, heading down towards Holcot. There's a former resident of Moulton that I used to know, an old lady who lived to be 101, I think. They called it Holcot. That was the old Northamptonian accents coming out in them. So we're headed down towards Holcot now. Now if you're a car boot enthusiast, down here on the right, just before you get into Holcot, is probably one of the biggest car boots in Northamptonshire now. Generally I don't go to them. I have been there and sold at them a couple of times when I've got stuff to get shot off. But yeah, and it's pretty good. I mean, yeah, this is field, so if the weather's fine, they're usually on. They have a website if you want to check them out, if you fancy going. Usually they're pretty good on the website. If they're not open due to inclement weather, they'll put it up on the day before to say that they won't be opening. I believe their car boots are on Saturday, Sundays and midweek Thursdays, and they run usually from around about April till September, October. Immediately on the right, just as we're coming into Holcot. Now, just here where the cars are pulling into and this van is going. So it's on today. And if you're going in to buy, it's £2 to pay for a car to park. I think, I don't know, somewhere between £5 and £8 if you're a seller in a car. So we're in Holcot, and Holcot Village Pond is to the right of me. I heard a story many years ago that they pulled a car out of there and there was a body inside it, and it's been in there a few years. So I don't remember where I heard it. I think I heard it at school. I don't know if it's true, to be honest. It might be. It's another pretty village though, Holcot. Yeah, we've got stunning buildings in our country. Stunning buildings in our fine county of Northamptonshire as well. I am looking forward to Snowdon. I imagine that's going to be stunning, hopefully, if there's not too many clouds up there. And of course I'll be taking you guys with me. Here we are. So this road goes one way to Holcot, one way to Moulton and Northampton on the left, and to the right goes down to Walgrave and Old. Straight over, Lamport and Brixworth. We're not going quite as far as Lamport or Brixworth, because as we leave Holcot we actually enter the causeway down to Pitsford Reservoir and the car park, and that's where we'll be ending our journey. There we go, Pitsford Causeway. So coming up to the right of me is there's a gap in the wall, and that's where you either enter or leave, depending on which direction you're going, anti-clockwise, clockwise, takes you into some wooded area, and then it heads around the water itself, around the reservoir. There you go. We're on Pitsford Causeway now. And we're just coming into the car park. Now, personally, this is the best car park to park in. You're only going to pay £3, and you get 12 hours parking for that. If you go up to Pitsford County Park or Country Park, it's about £2 an hour, and I think for all day you'll end up paying around about £8. So tickets for parking is right by the entrance, to the right of me now, to the left of me now even. And yeah, here we are in the car park. It is a shale car park, so just be aware of that. But if you're coming down here, the views are stunning, the walk is good. It's tough, but it's good. Anyway, that's the drive done. Well, there we are. That's my drive done. And now I've got a 7.5 mile, eight if I add on going up to Pitsford County and using their facilities. Trek around the reservoir. I think I'm going to go in the clockwise route today. And yeah, thank you for joining me on my travel here. As I say, it's stunning around here. It has terrain, but there's always kids, there's always bikes, there's always joggers, there's always elderly people walking around here. So it is doable. It's not very accessible if you're in wheelchairs and things, but everywhere else you can, but just be aware that the terrain, it can be a little bit rocky underfoot, shall we say, in places. Yeah, if you haven't already, I'll put the link down below this video in the description. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love you to donate towards the Snowdon charity event. A few pennies will make a big difference. Our charity is Animals in Need, and I'm doing it with my work colleagues. I think currently there's about 20 of us going. If you go on there, there's the list of 20 people on there. If you want to make a donation, if you want to do it for everybody, that's fine. If you want to put in the comments it's for Neil Masson, hey, feel free to do that. I thank you in advance for that. Anyway, time for me to train. I can see some stunning views, and these are the views behind Blue Eyes. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.
Talk to me, Goose.